Hello everyone, I'm Artur and today I'd like to share with you a basic project. We write a macro which does to importing a spreadsheet containing data. Such a situation can occur while working in any company. For example, your superior assigns you a task to create a report, which will be updated every week. Thanks to watching this video, you write such a macro with your hands down. In this cookbook, you learn how to importing data from another spreadsheet, creating the UE for our macro, having a universal pattern for importing data. Every single time when you need to import data, you can use a pattern shown in this video. I recommend combining macro with native functions of Excel. It is far and away the best approach to create nice looking and readable papers. Let's start. First and foremost, I will show you what the final project will look like. As you can see on my screen, we have a workbook with 3 sheets. Their names are Start, Data and Graph. In the first sheet, you see the table where are rows with a file path, checkbox and error. We notice that we store information about where is a file path, is a checkbox checked or not, and if there happened any failures. Below the form there are 2 buttons. According to the name of the first button, it selects the file with our data for the report. Another one processes it. On the next sheet, we store data which we use for the pivot table. Of course, I selected only a few columns from the report. Due to the fact of using a table for storing data and the pivot table for showing our results, whenever we update our data by the macro, we need just to refresh our pivot table and we have the updated report. Do you see it? I just add new data to our spreadsheet, then clicked refresh on the pivot table and voila, we have a fresh new report. Great, I start over for creating a new Excel file. Then I'm going to create a form for our macro. Okay, we are creating 2 buttons right now. We want to change their name, otherwise we use default values in the Visual Basic editor. Now we create the next sheet. We change its name to Data. Then we create a table based on our financial report. Last but not least, we create a sheet named Graph, in which we design the pivot table. Now enters my favorite part of Excel job, writing a macro. We move to the first sheet and clicked 2 times at the Select File button. Our next step is writing a line with option explicit at the beginning of code. The option explicit statement forces to explicit declaration of all variables. It implies using a team statement, otherwise you catch up with an error at the running time of the code. After that, we declare 3 variables, which we use later. Then we assign references to an object and 2 ranges. In order to fulfill our requirements to file dialog, we need to change proper properties. We set an allow multi-select property to false, because we only select one file. The next move is a change of a title dialog. Another key thing to remember is before creating your own file filter, you need to clear it. As a result of an action, we can define a filter. We want to see only Excel files. The first string is a title, another one is a filter content. In our case it is *xls**. Asterisk means that there can be a lot of characters before the dot and after a letter S. Next, we write an if-else condition, where it is compared to the value of a show method. It indicates whether the user pressed the action button -1 or the cancel button 0. If the value is not equal -1, then we know a user has not selected a file. On the other way of condition, we know the user selects a file and the macro is saved the file path. Like in the previous sub, we start at declaring variables. Then they are assigned references. We have 2 variables for references to an opened workbook and data workbook. We know that data is stored on a first sheet. That is why it is activated. In the next line, we assign to the R variable whole data from the activated worksheet. After it, we can close the data workbook and activate one where we store the report. Later, we write an if-else condition. Oh, I forgot to create a checkbox. Super! Now we return to our if-else condition. It compares whether the checkbox is checked and if count rows are greater than 2. If it is true, it means that we need to delete rows between range and an index row set to 2. In the else part, we have an if-else condition again. We check whether a second line is empty. If it is true, we set an index row to 2. Otherwise, we count rows and add 1 to them. The last part is a for loop. It helps us to iterate one by one to print values of the array. Additionally, we use two methods, cint and cdate, to convert strings from the data workbook to proper types. It is over. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any suggestions, please write it in a comment section. Of course, I put a link to download a file with the macro. Please subscribe my channel and give the like. See you next time.